What happens when government no longer fears the people that it governs? Answer: you get a Washington, D.C. where reality bites. And I think it's high time that we, the people, start biting back.
Get up your horse, get on this train. Hey, hey, oh. Welcome to the real world. I said welcome to the real world. I will rushing like the wind.
It's Monday, July 5th, 2010. Welcome to another webisode of Reality Bytes. I'm J. Patrick Morgan, your host. You know, I saw something last week on Glenn Beck that got me thinking. Something that dovetails nicely into what we've been discussing regarding Pete Stark and his comments on the June 26th town hall meeting in Fremont, California. Now, the following clip is about a minute and a half. It's Glenn Beck's reaction to Pete Stark's comments from that town hall meeting. And here's what he had to say.
I don't have to make fun of you, sir. You do a fine job all by yourself.
What's happened to us? We're Americans. We deserve better, but we haven't done our job. We got sidetracked in stuff, in things, in power and money and everything else. And so now we're getting the government we deserve. We have to change. It's our fault. But the good news is, we are changing. And Senator, let me put you on notice now. Don't you dare treat the American people like King George a second longer. Because we have changed. We're done. We're done.
I wish that were true. I wish that what Glenn Beck just said about being done was really true. And here's why. Sometimes they say that the media goes too far. In this case, Glenn, buddy, you didn't go far enough. When you said that we got sidetracked, I completely agree with that. We've gotten not only sidetracked, I think, we've gotten complacent. We care more about who wins the next American Idol than we do about who wins the next gubernatorial election. We've become a society, the majority of us, that all we care about is that our cars run in the morning, that the ATM works, and that the line at the local Mickey D's drive-thru isn't too backed up. All we care about is that when we get home, American Idol hasn't been preempted by things like a gubernatorial debate, which we should be watching, because that's stuff that affects each and every one of us. So here's what we've got in Washington, D.C. now, because we've become so complacent. We have politicians that no longer fear losing their jobs. We have politicians that don't listen to their constituents. They view their constituents with disdain, and they make decisions based solely upon political backbiting, partisan politics, and who greases the palm with the greasiest grease. It's sad. We have turned Washington, D.C., well, we haven't turned it into what I'm about to explain. We've let it become Camp Run Amok. Our politicians are in Washington, D.C. and have run amok. Okay, sorry for the little levity there, but I just had to throw that in. But seriously, government no longer fears the governed. In order for a republic, a true republic, to function properly and to survive, government must exist with the fear of the people. In other words, government must fear the governed. They have to be in fear of their jobs. Not that we're going to go and overthrow the government. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that those that govern in Washington, D.C. and from Washington, D.C. should fear the people, should be fearful that if they don't do their jobs properly, that if they don't pay attention to their constituents, that they're going to lose their jobs. They're going to be voted out. That's the way government should run. But that's not what's happening here, folks. We have people in D.C. that we've sent to Washington, D.C., and that we keep sending to Washington, D.C., in spite of our better judgment, that don't care. They don't care what the people think. They don't care what the people say. They're going to make their decisions the way they want. To hell with what the people think. It's time to change, folks. It's time to take those people and get them out of there. So what do we need to do? Well, we know that the politicians need to start listening to their constituents. We know that Washington, D.C. needs to be cleaned up, and to clean up its act. What do we need to do? We need to start focusing less on things like American Idol and our Swanson TV dinners, and start focusing more on what really matters to us in the long run. We need to start focusing more on the issues that affect each and every one of us. We need to take the politicians like Pete Stark that no longer fear their constituents, and we need to vote them out. We need to start paying attention to what they're doing. We need to start paying attention and listening to their words, and see if their words and actions are truly representative of the way we feel. Not only do they need to be representative of the way we feel, they also need to represent us in a professional and courteous manner. If they're up there in the seats of power, just letting it all hang out and not behaving the way a true representative should, there is something wrong with that person, and we need to replace them. And they can be replaced. That's it for this webisode of Reality Bytes. I'm J. Patrick Morgan. We'll be back on Friday with The Chaser. See ya.